idea through this campaign of putting them both together is, number one, to raise enough money for both organizations to make it through an entire year without having to sweat.
Chief Gord McEachon, who's chief of Toronto's Paramedic Services, is with us live via telephone. Chief, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
A pleasure
to be here with you today.
Appreciate that very much. I'm sure you're aware at this point that today's a very big day for the Hatzoloh organization. They are one of the beneficiaries of the charity.com/Toronto campaign, which officially begins in less than an hour, but people already are donating. From your vantage point, as chief of Toronto's Paramedic Services, what can you tell us and this audience about the staff and volunteers of Hatzoloh?
Well, I can tell you for one thing, it's a very important group for us in paramedic services. This volunteer group we've been involved with since 1998.
Wow.
And these are really impressive members of the community because they really understand the needs of the Jewish community. And for us, it's a real honor to work with them. We do a tremendous amount of work in the city. We do over 300,000 calls each year, and any support that we can get from first responders in the community is extremely, extremely important. And our relationship with Hatzoloh over the years has been outstanding. And the group of folks at the organization have truly been leaders in this type of work. So I can't say enough about them. It's just a wonderful relationship and a very important partnership for us.
Sometimes it's hard to believe how difficult it is to become a volunteer, the training that's necessary, the commitment of one's family. You know what it's like to run out in the middle of the night and take care of others. It's not always an easy thing. I think all these elements, people who are considering supporting this cause have to keep that in mind. There's a tremendous amount of dedication involved.
Absolutely. It's special people, right? It's a real honor to give back to the community, but it takes a special person to do that. And the trust and confidence one has in these individuals, and to be a volunteer and to do this work on their own, it's an extremely important component for the community to recognize. It's a real honor to work with these folks, and I really, really want people to emphasize that these are special people. They care for people, and they really care for their community.
Speaking with Chief Gord McEachon, Chief of Toronto's Paramedic Services, in your career, I would assume there's been a lot of changes in the area of being a paramedic and emergency services in general. Things are much different in 2018, much more advanced, and thank God we're able to take advantage of all that technology and save even more lives.
Absolutely. The really good thing about, or one of the most impressive things about paramedicine is that it's an evolving, ever-changing profession, right. And it changes based on science and medical evidence. So the paramedics are challenged with keeping up with medical progress in caring for folks. But that's the type of people they are. They really like the challenge, and they're always moving forward, and that's in the patient's best interest.
Well, you indicated that, or at least it sounded to me that you've indicated that it's a blessing to work with the volunteers. I think they would say, based on your reputation, it's an absolute blessing to work with you and the people around you, all together, saving lives for as many Torontonians as possible. So continued success, and just encourage everybody who's listening to give as generously as possible to support the organization.
Thank you so much, and yes, please do. It's a tremendous opportunity. But it's a very important need. Thanks so much for having me today.
Thank you, Chief. A pleasure, an absolute pleasure. It's heartwarming. I could say this to my audience around the world right now. It is heartwarming when somebody who's involved in the general community, especially in a position like that, speaks so highly of the volunteers and those people from our communities who step up and really get involved and do a good job. And that's really wonderful to hear. My thanks to Chief McEachon from all of us here at JM in the AM.